Hello. Good morning, afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone rather you're watching, today's stream from. All right, welcome once again to our market review sessions with us here at EasyFX Academy. And we're not going to be going straight into the charts as we usually do. Um, and we might not be necessarily looking at so many commodities, but at the very least, we make sure that you can get, substantial value from the ones that we do get to look at together. So let's look at gold first. Let's start from gold and then work our way towards other pairs from there. All right, so gold daily time frame, in fact, from the early hours, that was Sunday evening till now, we've seen good signs of bullishness from gold. We've seen that bullish move playing out on gold, and I still believe we might still get to see that bullish, move last at least up to this point. Now for the sales, I'm watching out for somewhere around this region, 5425.89 and 5284.91. Now that's quite a large region, and I would expect that if at all you're, taking scalp trades, you could easily drop to lower time frames and sort of refine that. For some of you, might just want to work with 50%. However, I'll be looking out for sales from there. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll see sales from there. And let me explain what I mean. This is more or less, predictive in the sense that we've not gotten any form of confirmation, saying that price hasn't gotten into that region yet. But at the very least, I would be watching out for possible sales from there. If I get more confirmation for sales inside there, then definitely I'll be taking the sales. And I usually tell you this, or always work with your own entry confirmations or your own entry criteria for all this type of trades. All right, it's very important. All right, so I think that would be it for gold. I really do not have much to see. If I did not see the entry confirmations for gold for the sales, then definitely I would stick with my bullish bias for the meantime and possibly just watch out for sort of retest maybe on the lower time frame, like the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes time frame, and work with that for my buy trade as the case would be. But that's it for gold. I'm not going to take too much time in this video. I promise. I really promise. Right. So next up is AD card. So let's look at it together. Now definitely again we're still seeing price overall bullish. I'll start from the daily time frame for this so that we can possibly get you know um regions that we might be able to work with for sales possibly. All right, because this gets to tell me that there's definitely strong momentum for the bullish move. However, I want to see the possibility of us getting a retracement that would give us substantial entry point, or sorry, a good enough entry point rather for the buys. We might still get, I don't know. I want to just confirm. Let me, oh sorry, wrong button rather. So let's have this here. Because I'm looking at this to this to this as just one move. All right, I'm looking at this orange here as just one move. And if I do that, I would, using my favorite tracement, I would want to pick maybe here. Right, I want to pick this region for the possible re-entry for the buys. All right, then so that will be the completion of the retracement, and then we get our buy continuation, but still quite far. But I think it's more or less the most conservative game plan that we have based off of what I can see. But for a more immediate trade, I think you might want to watch out for your buys from somewhere around here. That is around 0.96340. All right, you can use that as that. You can watch out for that point for possible buys. Yeah, and then you can just use this low or just a little bit below that low for your stop loss. But overall, I do expect that we should get to see a retracement, all right, towards the downside as usual, and then, or not as usual in this context rather, and then we get to see the buy continuation happen on it. All right, so for the other points I marked out, coordinates are between 0.95225 and 0.94933. All right, I hope that is clear for AUD card. Next up, let's look at AUD CHF. Just give me a minute, please. Right, so AUD CHF, let's look at that together. So I would expect it to be similar to what we just saw on AUD card. And I'm very cautious when it comes to CHF pairs because they can be wild. They can be very wild. Let's see. I don't think I'm seeing anything clear enough right now though, so I might not Nah, I am seeing something, but it's not, it's not necessarily good enough. It is tempting though, not gonna lie, it's quite tempting. Nah, so I'm just going to ignore what I'm saying right now because I don't have all the information I need completely. But let's move. Let's go to AU, and then we'll look at CAD GPY definitely. AUD USD and then CAD GPY. So again, AD we are sort of seeing a sort of head and shoulder pattern being formed on the daily time frame, but we are currently seeing this struggle around here. So this whole region here, there's sort of a struggle, happening around there for price to possibly break above or sustain that region, and then we get to see the drop to they continue to drop towards the downside. Right. So let's see. Currently, we've seen proper rejections from, that sort of right shoulder, but we've not gotten that down movement as it was that sell movement rather as it was. So let's see. Let me go back to the daily. Honestly, I still do expect us to get a drop. I still sincerely am watching out for a drop, at least till why were you marked out? Sorry, let me delete this. Right. So, and if I went by correlation, this would be something similar to what we're expecting maybe on AED. That was AED card, I believe, right? For maybe somewhere for us to see somewhere around here, but that's still quite far, for us to watch out for buys from. Already we're seeing this sort of demand region here, which has already played out or has already played a role. Um, so let me just mark it out, and then let's look at the possibility of price maybe still breaking it. There is the possibility. Actually, there is. There really is. All right, so I think I'm going to be careful and I'm going to watch out for sales for the meantime on ADUSD, basically from wherever you are right now, from where price currently is right now. All right, so what you can do is that you can just go down to the lower time frames and then look out for your entries for the sales, all right, based off your own entry confirmations. But I do believe we should get to see substantial sales on AUD USD, and I do believe we should get to see enough to break, this region. We should then see, the drop towards the downside. So we'll possibly break here and maybe still get a further drop towards the downside. But that basically is my bias for AUD USD, bearish, bias right now. Right, I hope that is clear. Also, let's go to CAD JPY as I said. Annoyingly, this is a trade that I can't even talk about because it's just annoying. But yeah, let me just possibly move this a bit towards the back so that, or let me just delete it for the meantime. Let's see if we can get anything for us to work with. Wait, let's go to the daily time frame. Let me just sort of do it over first. All right, I think I'll still want to hold on to this then for the possible buys from one bit and coordinates between 111.409 and 110.631 is still quite far out, but I believe that I think I'm going to be more comfortable watching out for the buys from there. But that being said, the previous or the current move I'm watching out for is for the sales, right? So for price to continue towards the downside, at least till we get to somewhere around the coordinates I mentioned earlier. So something like this. So again, as a scalper, you can just go again, drop to the lower time frames, work based off of your entry criteria, and then look out for possible sales, from there. That's CAD GPY. Let's do EA. Or let me look. I'll just pick one between EA and ECAD. ECAD has been doing it, so EA has been doing it. So, but yeah, let's. Do we have a sort of correlation that we can use? Not the cleanest, not also the prettiest. Nah, 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 nah. I prefer to use, the line charts to have this, but right. All right. So if I'm going by what I'm seeing strictly here, then definitely I'm watching out for the continuation for the sales. But let's see if we can find a convenient region for us to see that happen. Okay. All right, in that case, I'm going to give us something a bit different. have that. And right, so we have these two regions. Now, what I'm expecting is simple. If we're looking out for sales, maybe we'll see something like this. Now, remember, all of these trades are not things you should just take, from the predictive standpoint. All right, so make sure you see price get there, and then you work based off of what you see price telling you. All right, so if at all I do not get my confirmations from then definitely this region between 1.67268 and 1.67099, yeah, becomes, my retest region. So if I get to that price, doesn't give me any confirmations, then I will just watching out for a break, retest, and then continuation for the buys from there. Lower boundary or lower region in this case is between 1.66401 and 1.66260. That's what I'll be expecting possible, sell trades from, for a break and retest. So I'm overall kind of working with the bearish bias. But I want to see for this one, all right, if I get it, so I'm not going to be watching out for buys immediately from here. I want to see maybe the sell continuation, meaning I'll be expecting price to break this like this, and then we get it to drop. Sorry, get it sort of a drop. Don't mind me. Get it to drop, continue towards the downside. So something like this is what I will be keen on watching out for. How that is clear for Euro AUD. I'll jump to, let's do, is it EJ or EN? Let's pick one of those guys. Then we'll do EU. Well, let me just go straight to EU, right? Let me just go straight to EU. All right, so EU. If you remember last session we were expecting bearishness from EU. I think it missed us a bit. I don't think I marked it out yet, but yeah, it missed us a bit. Fair enough. Demand region around there. We've seen that reaction from. But let's go to the daily time frame again. So let's start from the daily time frame. Let's see if we can pinpoint something that might work for us. So straight away, I'm seeing this point here, and it's quite far. So technically, it's more, yeah. So this is just more or less a supply I'm watching out for. It's quite far. That's just the thing. It's just quite far, but I think it's something that we can still possibly work with. Coordinate between 1.19185 and 1.19049. So I'm expecting price to still take us a bit higher, and maybe we'll get the sales from there. Again, you're just watching out for entry confirmations once you see price getting into that soon. But definitely I'm watching out for this, for the continuation for the sales, if at all we do get to see that. So yeah, that basically is my current bias on EU. Let's do GG, and then I'll do GU. Yeah, GBJPY, then GBUSD, and then maybe we'll take two more after those, and then we can call it a session. So I'm doing my best to keep this as short as possible, but yet still impactful. Interesting enough. Okay. I'm just going to pick again. So for this, I'm just going to pick, upper and lower boundaries for that whole region. So I would pick from here to here. That's a lot. That's too wide. Too wide. It's valid. This just feels wide, but yeah, let's have that still. And then lower boundary, I would go for that there. Yeah. So upper boundary. Lower boundary. This. Right. So upper boundary. Sorry. Right, so upper boundary is, coordinate for the upper boundary is 209.667 and 209.032 between there, and the coordinates for the lower boundary between 207.552 and 207.229. Now, what exactly am I expecting? Very simple. Break and retest on any of them. All right, price currently is giving us a lot of consolidation moves, meaning that possibly we do not know where we are going yet. All right, so I might not necessarily enter for the sales, even though I do feel like we might get to see some good sales here. All right, but I'm not going to be entering for the sales and just jumping in or maybe if I drop to lower time frames, but for the sake of this video, I would not do that, right? So you can just watch out for every time test above any of these points, above any of these points, above any of these points. All right, but again, like I will tell you, these are just valid points for you to work with. You can easily work with your own entry confirmations on the lower time frame, or your entry criteria on the lower time frame, and also just have them at the back of your mind. All right, just working with the bias and the way I want you to think when price does get to what's this point. All right, that's just it. That's just the idea behind what we are doing here right now. So if at all, for example, we get to see price give us this drop, all right, and maybe it's a drop that is sustained, we might just get to see price continue towards the downside. Maybe we'll get to see it break and retest. If not, we might get to see price give us a push from here, and then maybe we'll be able to get another entry when price comes here. But basically, those are the 2 points I am going to be watching out for reactions from. All right, so if I get to see reactions when price gets here, then definitely I might watch out for the buy. But if I get to that gets invalidated, then definitely we'll see the sales happening from there. But that's it for GBJPY. Let's do G. Let's do G. Let's do G. 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 Let's do G. Let's do G. Daily time frame G. All right, daily time frame G. So daily time frame G straight away is this, which is very wide. So we'll just refine. We'll just refine this to the best of our abilities, and then it doesn't look like something I would prefer to refine too much. I don't want to overdo it, right? I would sincerely not want to overdo it and it's quite wide. That's the annoying part. It's how many pips? That's about 68.70 for why? Because of Azar now. Right, so let's let's work with 50%, which will be around here. Sorry, give me a minute. I think my internet just went off for a bit, so let me just get that back. All right, here we're back. We're back. All right, so back to what I was saying here. I feel like that's just too much. That's just too much. So let's work with 50%. Right, and then let's extend it. So and let's hope we do not miss this trade. So between 1.36261 and 1.36598, 1.36261 and 1.36598 will be the coordinate I'm watching out for the possible sales on GBP USD. So something like buy towards the upside, and then let's see how that happens. So that's it for GBP USD. Next up let's do UCAD. Well, let me check. I'll choose one between UCAD, UJ, and UC. Gives this very, very annoying cell, which demos that UCAD. So UCAD and UC pretty much look the same. Let's see. All right, let's take UJ. Let's take UJ for time frame UJ. All right, this is already about almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to be ending on this, pair. Right, let's see the possibilities of. Here's what daily time frame is saying again. I mean, it looks like we're still getting to see the drops continue, but price could easily come back. From what I'm seeing, price could still easily, decide to come to maybe just drop a little bit towards the downside, maybe around here, for example, and then push towards the upside again. And that push might be enough to break this high again, and then maybe we just get to see very slow movement towards the upside. But let's watch out for so short buys, very, very short. Not that I would expect you to take hold for too long. All right, from somewhere around here, this is between 153.481 and 153.121, something like this then. All right, and possible sell continuations is what I'm looking out for rather. 4 hour time frame again. All right, I think I'll just hold on for the meantime, and let me see what the market does. All right, let me see what price does towards this region before I see, or before I watch out for the sell movement. But for now, let's just have that at the back of our minds for this week. All right, so that's going to be it for today's session with us here at the FX Academy. I'm very sure you've learned one or two, and at least you're a bit more informed on what to do during the course of the week. As usual, practice proper risk management, work with your entry confirmations, work with your own criteria, or be very disciplined. And as usual, I'm very sure we're going to have a profitable week ahead, guys. Don't mind me. All right, have a lovely rest of your week, and bye bye. God bless.